My wife's best friend toasted to second choices. People laughed awkwardly. I stayed calm. Then I added one sentence to the conversation, and suddenly no one was laughing anymore. I'm 38, been married for 6 years. My wife and I met through mutual friends when I was 32 and she was 29. We dated for a year before getting engaged, married a year after that. Standard timeline. On paper, everything looked fine. But there was always this thing. This unspoken thing that hovered over our relationship, especially around her best friend. They'd been close since college, practically inseparable. The best friend was married too, to some guy she'd been with since high school. They were that couple everyone envied. Childhood sweethearts, perfect social media life, the whole package. My wife and I had a different story. She'd been in a serious relationship before me. The guy she thought she'd marry. They were together for 5 years. From what I gathered, he was everything I wasn't. Outgoing, spontaneous, the life of every party. They talked about marriage, looked at rings, the whole thing. Then one day he broke it off. Said he wasn't ready for commitment. 3 months later, he was engaged to someone else. My wife was devastated. Took her almost 2 years before she started dating again. That's when we met. I knew I wasn't her first choice. I knew I was the safe option, the stable guy who showed up after the exciting one left. But I loved her. I thought that would be enough. I thought over time, she'd see me as more than just the reliable fallback. 6 years of marriage, and I'm still not sure she does. Update 1. The toast happened at our anniversary party. We were celebrating 6 years, had about 40 people at a nice restaurant. Friends, family, co-workers. My wife's best friend and her husband were there, of course. They sat at the head table with us. Everything was going fine. People were eating, drinking, having a good time. Then came the speeches. My brother went first, told some funny story about when we were kids. My wife's mom went next, got emotional, talked about how happy she was that her daughter found someone who loved her. Then the best friend stood up. She was already a few drinks in, which should have been a warning sign. I just want to say, she started, holding up her glass, that sometimes life doesn't give us what we think we want. Sometimes it gives us what we actually need. People nodded along, thinking this was going somewhere wholesome. And sometimes, she continued, smiling at my wife, we have to settle for our second choice. But that's okay. Second choices can be good too. She raised her glass. To second choices. The room went quiet. A few people laughed nervously, not sure if it was a joke. My wife looked mortified. I just sat there, processing what had just been said at my own anniversary party. The best friend sat down, still smiling like she'd said something profound. Her husband looked uncomfortable, but didn't say anything. My wife reached over and squeezed my hand under the table, but I pulled away. I stood up. Can I add something to that toast? I asked. The best friend looked pleased, like she thought I was going to make a joke about it. Sure, she said. I looked around the room. My wife's best friend just called me a second choice. In front of our friends and family. At our anniversary party. I think everyone should know that she's right. My wife went pale. Please don't. No, it's fine, I said calmly. Everyone here probably already knows anyway. My wife was in love with someone else. He broke her heart. I came along and picked up the pieces. I've spent 6 years trying to be good enough, trying to measure up to some ghost. And apparently, I'll always be the second choice. I looked at the best friend. Thanks for making that crystal clear. I walked out, left my wife sitting there, left everyone staring, got in my car and drove home. Update 2. She came home 2 hours later. I was in the guest room, packing a bag. What are you doing? Staying at my brother's for a few days. You can't just leave. Watch me. She was drunk. She didn't mean it that way. How did she mean it then? My wife didn't answer. That's what I thought. I said, zipping up the bag. I love you. Do you? Or do you love the idea of being married? Of having someone stable and dependable? Because there's a difference. That's not fair. What's not fair is spending 6 years wondering if you wish I was someone else. What's not fair is having your best friend call me a second choice at our anniversary party while you say nothing. I was going to say something. When? After she finished? After everyone laughed? You had plenty of time to shut that down, and you didn't. She started crying. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. What do you want me to do? I want you to figure out if you actually want to be married to me. Not to the safe option. Not to the guy who showed up when you were broken. To me. I left. Stayed at my brother's place for a week. Update 3. She texted constantly. Apologizing, explaining, begging me to come home. I responded eventually, but kept it short. I need time to think. My brother asked what I was going to do. I don't know. Part of me wants to work it out. We've built a life together. But I'm tired of being the consolation prize. Did she ever actually say you were second choice? She didn't have to. It's in everything. The way she talks about her ex. The way she lights up when she tells stories about him. The way her best friend thought it was appropriate to toast to second choices at our anniversary party. Maybe you're reading too much into it. Her best friend knows her better than anyone. If she thought that was an acceptable thing to say, it's because my wife has said similar things to her in private. He didn't argue. I went back home after a week. We needed to talk, and we couldn't do it over text. She was waiting when I got there. The house was spotless, like she'd been stress cleaning. Thank you for coming back. I'm not back. We need to have a serious conversation. We sat down in the living room. She'd made coffee. I didn't touch mine. I need to know the truth, I said. Am I your second choice? She was quiet for a long time. You're not my second choice now. But I was. When we first met, maybe. But that changed. When? When did it change? Year 1. Year 3. Last week. I don't know. It wasn't one moment. It was gradual. That's not good enough. What do you want me to say? I want you to tell me the truth. Do you wish you'd married him instead of me? No. Do you think about him? She hesitated. Sometimes. How often? I don't know. It's not like I'm keeping track. Take a guess. Maybe once a month. Sometimes more if something reminds me of him. Once a month. For 6 years. That's 72 times minimum she's thought about her ex while married to me. Do you compare us? Not really. Be honest. Sometimes. But you always come out better. Except when I don't. Except when you're remembering the exciting parts and forgetting why it didn't work out. She didn't deny it. Update 4. We started marriage counseling 2 weeks later. My wife's idea, but I agreed. Mostly because I wanted a neutral third party to tell me if I was crazy for feeling the way I did. The therapist asked a lot of questions. About how we met. About my wife's previous relationship. About the anniversary party incident. How did that make you feel? She asked me. Like exactly what I am. A backup plan. Someone to fill a space. The therapist turned to my wife. Did you see it that way? No. I mean, at first maybe, but not now. I love him. I chose to marry him. But you didn't choose him first, I said. That's not fair. I can't change my past. I can't erase someone I dated before you. I'm not asking you to erase him. I'm asking you to be honest about what I mean to you. Am I the love of your life? Or am I the guy who was there when the love of your life left? She didn't answer right away. The therapist let the silence sit. Finally, my wife said, I think you can love someone differently, but equally. What I felt for him was intense and passionate and ultimately destructive. What I feel for you is stable and safe and lasting. Stable and safe? I repeated. Great. I'm the sensible sedan. He was the sports car. That's not what I meant. That's exactly what you meant. The session ended shortly after that. We scheduled another one for the following week. I drove home in silence. My wife tried to start conversations. I gave one-word answers. Update 5. The best friend reached out to me directly 2 days later. Sent me a long text apologizing for the toast, saying she'd been drunk and thoughtless and didn't mean anything by it. I called her. Do you actually believe that? Or are you just trying to smooth things over? I believe it. I feel terrible. You should. But I want to know something, and I want you to be honest. Okay. Has my wife told you she wishes she'd ended up with her ex instead of me? Silence. Answer the question. She's talked about him, yeah. But not like that. How does she talk about him? Just memories. Stories from when they were together. Positive memories? Good stories. Usually, yeah. And how does she talk about me? More silence. She talks about you being reliable. Dependable. A good partner. Not exciting. Not passionate. Just reliable. I don't think she means it as an insult. I don't care how she means it. That's how it lands. I hung up. Update 6. I asked my wife for a separation 3 days later. Not a divorce, but space. Time for both of us to figure out what we actually wanted. She broke down. You're giving up on us. I'm not giving up. I'm being realistic. You married me because I was there. Because I was safe. Because you were hurt and I helped you heal. But that's not enough for a marriage. It is enough. We have a good life. Good isn't great. Good isn't passionate. Good is settling. I'm not settling. Your best friend literally toasted to second choices at our anniversary party, and you're telling me you're not settling? She was drunk. Drunk words or sober thoughts. She grabbed my hands. Please, don't do this. We can fix this. Can we? Can you honestly tell me that if your ex showed up tomorrow and said he made a mistake, you wouldn't even consider it? She pulled her hands back. That's not fair. Answer the question. He's not going to show up. That's not what I asked. She looked away. I don't know. That's what I thought. I moved out that weekend. Found a month-to-month rental. Told her we'd revisit in 3 months. Final update. It's been 4 months now. We're officially separated. Still married, but living apart. We've each been in individual therapy. Still doing couples counseling every other week. The distance has helped. Or maybe it's just shown me what I already knew. She's a good person. We had some good years. But I deserve to be someone's first choice, not their safe bet. Last week, she admitted something in therapy that changed everything. She said she'd reached out to her ex on social media about 6 months ago, just to see how he was doing. They'd exchanged a few messages. Nothing inappropriate, but she'd kept it from me. Why? I asked. I don't know. Curiosity, maybe. Or maybe you wanted to see if the door was still open. She didn't deny it. The therapist asked if there was a path forward for us. I said I didn't know anymore. My wife said she wanted to try. But here's the thing I realized. Wanting to try isn't the same as wanting to be with someone. It's wanting to avoid failure. To salvage an investment. To not be alone again. I told her I wanted a divorce 2 days ago. She's not fighting it. I think part of her is relieved. Her best friend sent me another apology text yesterday. I didn't respond. I don't need her apology. She just said out loud what everyone already knew. I'm done being someone's second choice. Done being the safe option. Done being the guy she settled for because the exciting one got away. I'm 38. Starting over sucks. But starting over beats spending the rest of my life wondering if I'm enough.